Hey folks, it's the Red, and welcome to another Mario Day special. Today we're going back to square one. This one, right here. I thought it'd be fun to go back and take a close look at some of the more fascinating secrets about this game. So today we're going to have a look at some cool tricks, weird glitches, and show-offs. And who knows, you might even learn something about this game you didn't know before. So sit back and get ready to revisit the Super Mario Bros. Super Game! Again! Here's a pretty wild glitch. If you hit an enemy from underneath from the left side of the screen, they change into a Koopa. It's not just a cosmetic change either. They fully transform into a Koopa shell that can be kicked and everything. Funny I didn't know Mario was a sorcerer. Because of the way screen wrapping works in this game, it's possible to collect an item falling off the bottom of the screen from the top of it, if your timing and positioning are right. This also works with enemy interactions as well. It's possible to stomp them this way, but more than likely you'll just wind up taking a hit, so attempt at your own peril. Now watch me stomp these 4 Goombas in a row! I know it doesn't look super impressive, but it's pretty hard to pull off considering what little bounce you get out of stomping in this game. Here's something to try out with the Superstar. Let it bounce for a bit, then grab it when it gets to the stairs and run for the flagpole. During this little animation, when the invincibility ends, it will interrupt the fanfare and go back to the regular level music. It's a little thing, but still funny to see it in action. Now, as you know, if you chain 2 Goomba stomps in a row, the second stomp will be worth 200 points. But if you stomp both Goombas at the same time, then the second one is worth 400 points. Huh, that's kinda neat. Amaze your friends by shooting fireballs through solid bricks. Just break away these 2 bricks here, then jump on top and shoot fireballs at the corner here. And you can make them phase through the wall in a way that probably shouldn't be possible. Still, it's pretty cool to look at. Have you ever tried to collect this 1-up mushroom in 1-2 and were taken by surprise when it hops over the hole it's meant to fall through? Well, turns out there's a reason it does that. See, earlier in the level there's a Superstar, and if you collect it when it's bouncing upward, that coating will carry over into the 1-up mushroom once you reach it and hit this block, causing it to bounce like the star did. I don't know, maybe it's just trying to do its best Superstar impression. As we all know, red shell Koopas are supposed to turn around when they reach the edge of a platform. I guess that guy didn't get the memo. Now here's one of the more interesting glitches called Small Fire. As Super Mario, try to jump on both Bowser and the axe at the same time. If you do it correctly, you won't shrink, but you'll still have the invincibility frames, and then you'll just kinda ice skate over to Toad, which looks kinda cool in itself. You'll go into the next level and everything seems normal, but then you hit the block and find a mushroom? But you're already big, so it shrinks you? I thought we didn't have to deal with mushrooms like this till the next game. But the craziness doesn't end there. The next power-up will be a flower, and collecting this will give you firepower, but you'll still be small. You'll have Fire Mario's color scheme and everything. It's kind of surreal to play as a small version of Fire Mario, but totally cool. Taking a hit in this state will make you go back to Super Mario, and getting hit while Super will kill you. Yeah, everything will be out of whack, but after that death, everything will go back to normal. This trick will make water levels easier if you have a power-up. While crouching, start swimming, and then the upper half of your hitbox will be gone. It will be as if you're still crouching while you swim, making it possible to stick your head inside blocks and even phase through enemies. Just be careful not to go above the exit pipe at the end if you do this, cause you might find yourself becoming one with the wall. What? Jump over the cloud blocks and pass up an opportunity to break physics in half? Relish the thought. What makes this even funnier is that it pushes you further forward than the camera should allow. Impractical? Yes. Fun? Also yes. Of course, there are other ways to push yourself forward beyond the camera's limits as well. By jumping at the very right edge of floating blocks, you can push Mario about half a body length forward. It would take a bit of work, but do it enough times and you can inch your way ever closer to the right side of the screen. There's no real benefit to doing this, but it's still pretty fun. Of course, some levels are better suited to this idea than others. Just be careful though, because this will obviously make it harder to see what's coming up. Here's a trick you've probably seen or heard of at one point or another, the infinite 1-up trick, performed by stomping a Koopa shell against a wall repeatedly. 3-1 has perhaps the most famous example of this, but there's actually a more effective place to do this in 5-2, though this is in the second quest version where the Goombas are buzzy beetles. By doing this, here you have 2 enemies to stomp against, allowing for faster extra life accumulation. Neat! You know what's fun? Making unnecessarily dangerous jumps. Oh yeah, right between the lava bubble and the fire. And look at this tight jump. Ooh, thread that needle. Kind of funny how the fire RNG just kind of worked out like that. Sometimes you can make spinies fall through bricks as you hit them. It's like opening a trapdoor underneath them. I couldn't pull this one off without dying at the same time, but if you stomp a Koopa shell when it's at the bottom of the screen, you can make it float in midair. Look, I know there's lots of floating things in the Mushroom Kingdom, but this is getting a little ridiculous. These weighted girders have some weird physics to them as well. If you try to step on one while riding on the vertically scrolling platforms, it will push you to the side, and then after that you just go right through it, like they're not even there. And sometimes, if you play on them too much, the other platforms will become jealous and not let you jump on them. Man, these things feel a little broken. Okay, yeah, it's definitely broken now. By the way, when you're playing one of the castle maze levels like 4-4, make sure you keep your feet on the ground, otherwise even if you take the correct path, you may find yourself looping back around anyway. They don't like all that jumping around. And now, 3 Koopa Stomps back to back. Awesome! Here's a neat trick. This fire bar skips a lot of frames, that if you jump from just the right spot, and with precise timing, you can make it look like you're jumping right through it. Actually, you know what this reminds me of? A minigame in Mario Party called Hot Rope Jump. Oh no! There's some strange behavior with this first girder in 6-3. For your convenience, I'm going to mark how far it goes at its highest point, then its lowest point. Now, watch what happens. It swings higher and lower with each pass. As far as I can tell, this is the only girder in the game that behaves in this way. What's more, this girder goes so low, it could drop you into the pit below if you're standing on it. Swing low, sweet girder. Here's one of my favorite tricks, the mushroom jump. After you grab a mushroom in the air, as soon as the growing animation ends, immediately jump and you can do a mid-air jump. This could potentially get you out of a sticky situation, or give you show-off potential, whatever your priorities are. Here's another weird thing in 6-3. There seems to be some leftover coding for a weighted platform at about this point in the stage, and the bullet bills seem to behave weirdly if you stomp them in this area. Sometimes they'll just hang in the air for a moment before dropping out of the sky like a cartoon character. And sometimes you can just stomp on them continuously. I'm not sure what the deal is here, but it's funny to look at, so I can't complain. For some reason, Bowser's hammer attack doesn't hurt you if he throws them to the right. Maybe it's because he's left-handed? Sure, let's go with that. Naturally, when you run into an enemy, you get hurt. But that enemy cannot hurt you again until you leave its hitbox and then re-enter it. So as long as you're occupying the same space as the enemy, it can't hurt you. Look at that. It's like they've settled their differences and are just walking together. Back and forth, back and forth. We'll call this the good ending. There's a coin block here in 8-2 that under no circumstances should you ever attempt to get coins out of because there's too many dangerous things around here and you are definitely going to get hit. These Hammer Brothers can be a bit unpredictable in this game. Sometimes they can drop all the way down from the top row of bricks down to ground level and skip the middle section. The best way to stop them? Intercept them by hitting the brick as they pass by it. Tricky to get the timing right, but pretty satisfying to pull it off. And you want to know what's really messed up? You can't even take out Hammer Brothers with a Koopa shell. They are literally the worst in this game. Interestingly, fireballs can bounce in this pool of lava in 8-4. From what I could find, you can't do this with any other lava pools in the game. Maybe the fireballs are learning how to become lava bubbles. Oh geez, let's not do that. Also, when you enter 8-4's water section, make sure not to go back to this pink pipe. You can't see it, but there is in fact a piranha plant that comes out of it. I think it might be behind the water layer. But shooting a fireball at it confirms that it is in fact there. Very strange that we can't see it though. Now here's a weird glitch, at least I'm pretty sure it's a glitch, but if you hit a buzzy beetle from under a brick and kick it before it hits the ground, it gives you 8,000 points. Seems a bit generous for such a simple action. I wanted to try this on a Koopa, but there's only one in the whole game that can be found walking on bricks, and we can't reach it. So much for that. But yeah, 8,000 points for kicking a flipped buzzy beetle. Most likely a programming oversight, and they probably fixed it in the next game. Or not. But they more than likely got it fixed in Super Mario All-Stars. Oh. But surely they would have had that patched out in Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Are you kidding? The GBA version? Super Luigi Brothers? Did they at least fix it in Super Mario Maker? Okay, to be fair, this doesn't really run on the proper Mario 1 engine, so it probably doesn't count. But we can at least test the 8000 glitch on this Koopa using Luigi's higher jump in Super Luigi Brothers. Yep, it works, so it applies to any shelled enemy. Very interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap this up with one final trick. Winning and losing at the same time. Surprisingly, this does count as clearing the level, and the princess is saved by no one. Great. I guess you could just go home now. Mario's not going to be taking you there, so, I don't know, hire a cab or something. But that's going to do it for this video, though, so thank you very much for watching, and have yourselves a happy Mario Day. See you next time!